Okay, Brian, anytime you're ready,
Yeah,
we can start talking.
I had to get ready.
What? Oh my,
Yeah,
what are you wearing?
Yeah, we gotta talk about this virus thing.
What are you doing?
We gotta talk about this virus thing.
What?
I'm telling you,
Why do you
we're
have
gonna
to
kill this
cancel
virus
the
that's
lights?
killing.
What?
We're talking about virus. We're talking about viruses today.
Why do you have a snow? Why is there Santa here?
Soap? Yeah, soap. You gotta wash your hands. It's crazy. This virus we gotta talk about today.
Babe, that's not the virus we're talking about today.
I thought it was.
Okay, coronavirus is very serious.
Virus.
The most important thing you can do is avoid crowds
and drinking. Sorry.
And wash your hands with soap.
And keep a mask on. Yeah, definitely keep this mask on right now.
No, it's actually the masks can't protect you. We should leave the masks for the sick people so they can stop spreading the germs.
But I bought this one and it's good.
This is not a medical. Honey, let's.
Oh, okay.
It's time. It's time. This
we're talking about virus.
This is not the kind of virus, babe.
Wait, what? Okay, so what virus are we talking about then? What are we talking about?
The virus that Biggie sang about.
Virus?
In the 90s.
The virus. Oh, that wasn't a virus, but he was talking about more money, more problems.
That's it, baby.
The more money we come from, the more problems
that was
we
song.
see.
Yeah, we just stated ourselves. Right. Okay, seriously.
So what is this virus killing then?
So the virus, it's not really money. I don't think the money is the problem. It's the way we think about money. And it's not really killing people. It's killing relationships.
Okay, yeah, all right, I see where you're going.
Let go of the Lysol, babe. I think we're going to be okay.
All right, I'll keep the soap. And I'm going to keep the soap on hand. I got to wash my hands.
Wash your hands.
All right, so today, guys, we are talking about this virus that's killing relationships. And it's the virus of money. And again, like she said, like my lovely wife said, it's not the money itself that's killing the relationship. It's what it kind of institutes in the relationship.
It's what we believe about money. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about 3 popular beliefs about money that might be destroying your relationship. We know definitely they've had an impact on ours. And we're going to talk about what these beliefs are and what we can change them to in order to get over this, so that we can get past this virus and have healthy relationships.
Very healthy relationships.
So the first one I want to talk about is this idea that we need to save more money, like keep saving money, save. First, I want to mention, right, like we're total, like I am a discount shopper. Nobody can find deals like me.
Listen, first off, I found that props to my brother's girl, because she does be racking up some deals and discounts and stuff. So big up to Tay out there. But yeah, no, seriously though, we talk about saving money, right?
Yeah, and so the thing is, right, like again, we are all about finding a deal and using your money wisely. We even partner with a company that helps people save money on their monthly bills.
Yes.
But what we're talking about here with the savings mentality is when we view money as like the end result, like stockpiling money. Like if I don't save money, then I am nothing. And the switch, like the transition we want you to make to change from thinking, oh my God, I have to keep saving money, is to move into a mindset where you're thinking money is a resource and I am a steward of that resource. I can invest it or I can squander it. And so the ideal situation, of course, is that we invest that resource, but there are ways to squander it, and we want to think about money as a resource. I'll share really quickly something that really kind of like started us thinking about money differently ourselves, I think, was one time my sister, God rest her soul, she passed away in 2016, but she was a person that she worked most of her busy season was in the summertime, and then winter's time she really didn't work that much, which was totally fine for her. But what she did, I was like, how do you do this? Because I would always get on her like, no, don't spend your money on us. Like she would come and want to like buy things for everybody, and she looked at me, she said, you know what, money is here to be used. If I'm not enjoying my life, then all of the hard work I put through in the summertime is worthless, because my money is here to be used. It's a resource. I think, you know, about like all the other resources, your precious resources in our world. We think about, you know, like trees, plants, natural gas, even like,
Yeah.
and we think about how we're careful in preserving the resource and using it wisely. And that's the kind of mentality I think we need to apply to our money.
Yes, that's exactly how we should be with our money, and we should be very much not just saving it up, but also not, like she said, not squandering it just on, you know, anything. You know, it's about using it properly, like we use our resources, like we use gas, like we use light. You know, it's
Exactly.
always got to be that. So
There's a verse in the Bible that talks about this, I think, and it's something, it relates to sometimes how we hold things tightly.
Yeah.
And it's in Matthew chapter 10, verse 39, and it says, he who loses his life will find it, but he who, something along the lines of that, he who holds tightly will lose it, right? And that's really what it's about. If you're holding tightly to even to money, you know, you're not thinking about using it as a resource. You're thinking about it as like, I have to have this. You're really going to lose it. But if you kind of release that a little bit and release the tension and kind of look at it more like a resource that is replenishable, because it always is.
Yeah.
Then I think your mindset and your attitude towards money will change, and it will have a positive effect on your relationship too.
Exactly. So leading into our second
The next
idea.
one. I
This
wanna
is a
read it.
big
Can I
one.
say
No,
it?
because
Oh.
you said the first one,
I
so
like
it's
this
now
one.
mine. All right. This one's talking the idea of my spouse is bad with money.
No.
And we've all been there.
Not
We've
me.
all been at that point where I've come into this house and I've been like, bae, why did you buy that? And she's like, well, I thought we ran out and stuff, but we've been stockpiled. And now we have a surplus and
Look,
stuff.
you can never have too much toilet paper.
But
If the coronavirus has taught us anything, is that you don't want to run out of hand sanitizer, soap, or toilet paper.
But I tell you, when we did come on like some, you know, little bit of slow times, we were like, I was like, man, we got toilet paper. We don't have to worry about it. So yeah, big up to that. But in the same aspect, you know, we also can say that about, you know, our hobbies and stuff. And this is where I think you wanted to share about me.
So this idea, right, like my spouse is bad with money, I think it's really rooted in a couple of things. And the thing that it's really rooted in mainly is the idea that we don't understand each other. Because if I think about my husband and he has different hobbies and different interests than I do, which happens, I mean, you're not always going to end up with somebody who is like 100% exactly like you. And if you do,
you might be crazy.
yeah,
Yes.
or you might actually go crazy.
Yeah, because you're looking at yourself in the mirror.
But when you do that and you say, okay, well, instead of the thought shift again, we're talking about, instead of thinking my spouse is bad with money, I'm going to think, okay, well, I want to understand what's important to my spouse so that I can help him or her, you know, acquire that, you know, while being a good steward, you know, while taking care of those resources.
That's how we were in the beginning. Like, she thought I was so bad with money. Because if you don't know me, I love my video games.
I don't like video games.
I have several hobbies, but one of my biggest ones is video games. She'll tell you all day. I've collected game systems. I've collected games in itself, but she thought I was crazy.
In the beginning, definitely, and that's just kind of like my own background and the way I was raised. Again, because everybody, you know, a relationship is two people coming from two different backgrounds, like melding, and so you're gonna have some things you butt heads on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's, you know, just I had to stop and say, okay, well, me telling you that you're bad with money, or like limiting your access to money, which you really can't do, is
I was a grown man. I had my own money. It was happening either way.
It's negative. It's not good.
But the point is that it was causing fights because she didn't agree, and I was like, I'm going to do this.
So when I shifted that thinking and I said, okay, well, you know what? I want to understand if this is important to you, then let's find a way to do it so we can both be happy. So my frugal, saving, savvy mind can be at ease when we do this. And one way we did that was like a time I think where we really kind of like got it was when the PlayStation 4 system came out.
Yeah, it's big up to her because she did Surprising. I remember this.
That was
This
for his birthday.
Yeah, it was my birthday.
It was an early birthday gift.
Yeah, and it was right before we had Jordan, so it was
like
about
tight
5
time
years
financially. But honestly, what it was I saw, okay, well, he has an interest in this. You know, me dismissing that by saying, oh, it's just him wanting to be bad with money is not going to help my relationship.
Yeah.
Because if one of us wins, guess what? Both of us lose.
Yeah.
That's how it works in relationships.
And the thing about it is that I think it was the fact that you saw that I was willing, because I had a PlayStation 3 at the time,
yeah.
and I was ready to give it up. And I said, I'm going to give this up because I'm going to get the PlayStation 4.
And understanding like the monetary impact that had, that we work with, that the store that he buys from regularly takes trades and that kind of thing, realizing that, okay, well, this is not really as bad and, a costing thing as much. And you know what? In the end of the day, my husband is home playing a video game instead of out in a bar at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. So, it's picking and choosing your battles and understanding, choosing to understand. So if you have that thought process in your mind, oh my God, my spouse, my boyfriend, girlfriend is so bad with money, try to shift that, try to say, let me try to understand why this thing is important to them. Mm-hmm. And then we can either, because some things will be like, okay, well, you know what? That was just foolish. Because, not everybody is great with money. Let's be honest. But 9 times out of 10, I think that what you'll find is that, you will never go wrong if you really make an investment in understanding your mate a little more. And especially when it comes to how they want to spend their money. And then the last one we have here, which is a huge one, and I was, really wanted to get to this one, is this mindset, this thought that says, if I have more money, I will be happier.
Exactly.
And that's nothing. And I know you've heard this. This is not old news, right? But it's, money does not equal happiness. When I was thinking through these, we were both talking about them and stuff, when this particular topic is one that I thought through, I was like, so what is it that we're looking for when we try to acquire money? What is it that we're hoping to fill? And, as we talked about, we realized that, a lot of times when we're seeking to fill the pocket with money, what we're really looking for is a connection. Mm-hmm. And connection doesn't come from currency. You can't get it from money. Mm-hmm. It only comes from, contentment doesn't come from currency. It comes from connection, and connection with knowing who you are, knowing who the person you love is, having healthy relationships.
Yeah, that's that term that money can't buy happiness. And it's true to the fact. You cannot be happy with the more money you have.
It's just like Biggie said, man, more money, more problems.
Exactly. And this reminded me, and I told her I was going to say this. This reminded me of the story. We all know the story of Scrooge. Ebenezer Scrooge was a man who literally was this idea. He was chasing money all the time, and he always thought it was going to make him happy. He said, and it really didn't, and he missed out on a lot of things in life. But the one thing that I noticed that is that Scrooge, or Ebenezer as he is, he got a warning about it. He got to look at what his future was going to be.
We don't have that luxury.
All that money. We don't have that not going to have that luxury. You're not going to be able to find that somebody's going to come out in chains and ghost mode talking about.
If they do, you probably need to talk to a psychiatrist,
or to Jesus, one of the two. But the point is that you don't get that same chance. There's not going to be a fairy tale of, oh my God, what would I do? Or you wouldn't be able to see into the future of what's going to happen if you save that money. But you can enjoy what the present time is, valuing your relationships and your connections and using the money that you have and being thankful and being content with the money you have.
And contentment is a choice. But like I said before, it comes from your relationships. So if, and why I thought this was so important, because we know, this is something in your head, you hear all the time, oh, money can't buy you happiness. But sometimes we forget it when we get busy with life, right? Like you're working and you make some money, and then you say, oh wow, this was, relatively easy. I could do this again. I could make more. And you kind of find yourself chasing after the dollar bill. And the problem with that is that you don't have a connection. Sometimes we start chasing the dollars before we even know who we are. So you don't have a connection with yourself. You don't have a connection with your mate, because if you don't have a connection, if you don't really know who you are, you're never going to be able to have a healthy relationship with anyone else. And then,
if you're too busy chasing money, you're never going to take the time to understand that connection.
So I just think that the important piece here is kind of like, take a look at your life and see where you're spending your time.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, where you spend your time and who you're valuing to connect with, that's where it becomes important.
Exactly.
And when we don't do that, that's when you feel empty. And you can have all the money in the world, but still be empty. And that reminds me of a scripture as well, which is in Mark 8, verse 36. And it says, what is it worth if I gain the whole world but lose my soul? You know, and like, what is it worth if you gain everything, but then you don't know who you are, you don't have healthy relationships, you don't have people that love you and are willing to invest in you? It's not worth very much at all.
Yep.
And so that's, I think, really what it is. So super quick recap. The first thought is, I need to keep saving more money. And the shift that we want to make there is, money is a resource. I'm a steward of that resource, and I'm choosing whether I'm investing it or squandering it.
And the second one is, my spouse is bad with money, and we want to shift that from my spouse is bad with money to what is my spouse's interest. You know, valuing their hobbies and what they love to do, and finding a way to make it work with saving the money and using it as a resource rather than squandering it.
And then that last one, of course, is,
if I had money, I would be more happier. And that's the killer of all of them.
and the shift you're making there is, it's connection, not currency, that's going to bring me contentment.
Yeah.
And so it's saying, you know what? It's my relationship is, you know, my relationship with myself, with my maker. If you believe in God, this is, you know, like, because that's a really big one, I think, for us. Is like, you know, we find that the closer we are to God, the closer we get to each other. And the times when we have been cold in our relationship with the Lord, we've found ourselves like drifting away from each other and
chasing money.
And that actually, you know, is something that's happened to us, you know, where we're like, oh, well, yeah. And then automatically, it doesn't happen easily. It happens with like, oh, I like this one, but there's a bigger house and maybe we can work harder and get that one. And then there's the next thing and the next thing.
Keep moving on and
you realize before you know it that your kid's grown up and, you know, you don't know who your husband is anymore.
And these are the viruses that we need to work on in our lives.
Yep.
So.
This is the number one virus, is this, you know, the thirst and the lust for money that is really killing relationships. Not at all, you know, trying to downplay the viruses that are facing out there. We're still in flu season and coronavirus is all over the place. So please be careful.
Yeah.
If you're coughing, stay home.
I'm gonna go and fight this virus.
That's not a good mask, babe.
Listen. I'm protecting myself somehow. Pass my cans. We're gonna get out here, fight this virus.
I guess I have to support his hobbies.
Listen, it's been real. We love you guys. We thank you for watching this. I know we took on forever for this, but you know, we got to kill this virus. You know, save our relationships. All right, save relationships, save the lives. Let's go.
Bye.
Yeah. Go out.